Originally, with my application over 3 years ago, I applied for a total of 18 firearms. Now, for an initial application, that is pretty extensive. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Callum, this is English Shooting, and let's get into the video. Before we begin, for those of you that don't have a clue about our firearms law here and how our firearm certificates and shotgun certificates work, the main differences between a shotgun certificate and a firearm certificate is that once you have a shotgun certificate, you are free to acquire as many shotguns as you can safely and securely store within your security arrangements. This is very different with a firearm certificate. With a firearm certificate, you need to justify every single firearm that you are applying for, and then you will be given a slot for that firearm. Now, it's not completely prescriptive. You don't need to tell them exactly what make, model, even mechanism that you plan on buying, but the caliber and type of firearm does need to be specified. So a 22 LR or 22 rifle, or a 22 LR long barrel pistol, or a 12 gauge section 1 shotgun. And you have to be able to demonstrate that you have good reason for each one, that you are going to use each one, and in what environment, in what situation you're going to be using every single one. Going back to the application, I was quite ambitious with the amount of guns that I applied for, and whilst I had justification for every single one of them, there was a little bit of negotiation. So originally, with my application over 3 years ago, I applied for a total of 18 firearms. Now, for an initial application, that is pretty extensive, and it's very rare that for a first-time application you would be approved for 18 slots, 18 different firearms on a firearms certificate. However, my application wasn't a normal one, needless to say, and working full-time within the shooting industry, doing more shooting than most certificate holders week on week. A part of the appeal and a part of the negotiation and agreement that we came to for me to finally successfully reapply for my certificates, it was advised or suggested that I reduce that 18 down. So what did I end up with? The main cut down was predominantly on the number of section 1 shotguns, the rifles and the pistols. So I ended up with 2 section 1 shotguns in 12 gauge. There's the 3 22 LR rifles, 2 long barrel pistols in 22 LR. I also went for the 6mm rifle and was successful in getting that slot. There's also the 223 that I got a slot for. The 2 sort of fun guns, the first being the 38 muzzle loading revolver. The last slot that I ended up getting on the firearm certificate was for a 7.62 by 54R, of course, for a Mosin Nagant. With having those slots, the next job, the next step and stage is to fill them. So the first gun that I signed on was a section 1 Benelli M2 filled. It was just a natural choice and the first one that I signed on, and got to use that straight away at the level 3 Scottish Masters, which I think to my amazement I managed to bag 4th place, very close behind 3rd and 2nd, and really first not being wholly out of reach. To do that after a 2-3 year break, going straight in a gun that I hadn't shot for a very long time, it was just reassuring to see that I hadn't sort of lost it, that I still knew how to shoot in some capacity, and a very solid base to build upon, and I want to get that first win and really drive towards it. That's the first slot. The second section 1 shotgun slot, I don't know yet exactly what will go on that, but we will have to wait and see. The second gun that I ended up signing on wasn't actually taking up a slot on the firearm certificate. This was on the shotgun certificate, and was my Beretta Silver Pigeon 1, a incredibly sentimental gun because it was my 21st birthday present from my parents, a gun that I will never sell, a gun that has been in various guises of storage over the years, has been on multiple friends' certificates to make sure that that gun sort of stays there ready and waiting, and was actually the first gun that I brought home and put in the safe, and so far is the only shotgun that I've put on the shotgun certificate, even though I have my eye on a couple of others, which I'm sure there will be updates going forward. The next gun that was signed on then to the firearm certificate was a 38 muzzle loading revolver made by Allen Westlake, the Allen Westlake Arms Core. I've made previous videos on the channel. For those of you that don't know who Allen Westlake is, go and check out the video. Without him, we wouldn't have these sort of modern muzzle loading revolvers. We wouldn't have the long barrel pistols or even the long barreled revolver. And it is very much my goal long term to collect every single gun that he has made, or every single model of gun. Not actually every single gun, that would be very expensive, but one of each model that he has released, right back to the start, right up to current day. And the cheapest dip of the toe into that collection was the Arms Core, and it's a gun that I'm very much looking forward to going out and shoot, and it's going to be one of those guns that I just take down to the range to enjoy. The next gun, and actually the last gun that I've so far signed on to the certificates, yep, that's right, I've only filled 3 so far, is the Battle Arms Ambi 22LR semi-automatic rifle. The gun that I've been using now for a number of years within mini rifle competitions for IPSC practical shooting. It's the gun that I ended up taking to the World Shoot to compete with. Obviously something I'm very familiar with, a gun that I know very, very well. The next one I think that will be signed on there is going to be an LBP. I'm sure many of you will be, hang on a minute, you know, you had all these difficulties with Section 1, what about an LBP? Surely you're going to be signing one of those straight away on there. Yes, it's we were actually signed up for a couple of competitions, but again, I needed to be methodical. There is the EnglishShooting Walther PPQ in 22LR. We've also got a KMR, a K22, and whilst the sort of natural thing was to rush and sign on the EnglishShooting Edition PPQ, I'm sort of leaning towards moving away from that for a practical IPSC gun, given that abroad I shoot, when I shoot 9mm, it's predominantly CZ Shadow 1, CZ Shadow 2. They are sort of the most available guns when you go and shoot production abroad. It just makes more sense to actually go the KMR route and sign that on and use that as my LBP gun, so that when I go abroad, when I shoot 9mm, the jump isn't as big and I'm more familiar with the platform. In terms of the rifles, the other rifle slots, no real idea yet. Probably will be getting a Ruger 1022 for speed steels. In terms of the 6mm, no idea yet. Don't know enough about PRS to even start thinking about what make or model and configuration I'm going to go for. The 223, maybe a 223 straight pull Battle Arms, potentially to just keep that Battle Arms theme, or maybe go for something a little different, a little bit more exotic for a straight pull AR. What else? We've got the 762x54R. Came very, very, very close to filling that at the weekend when we went down to Bisley. I've got that itch. I just need to feel whole again having one of those in the safe, and again that will be a fun gun, but I'm not going to rush into it. I want to get the right one. It's going to be an M44. It's going to be the carbine with the bayonet, the fireball generator. But yeah, even though Fulton's had one for 450 quid ready to go, I managed to resist. Take my time, let's savour filling all of these slots. So there we go, plenty to look forward to, plenty of videos in the pipeline, and it's just good to be back normally talking about UK firearms laws, talking about my experiences, and hopefully giving you guys a bit of help, a bit of guidance, a bit of education and entertainment along the way. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching it. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Of course, make sure you are subscribed. And as always, hope to see you soon.